So good evening and welcome to the preview show for the Hallmark Security Cheshire Football League for Saturday the 25th of January. If you've been following us on Twitter this week, you'll have seen the banter building up ahead of the key fixtures this weekend. We've got a few title chasing sides that have had their say and stating their claim, but we all know it's about points on the board and not about banter on Twitter. As a reminder to any clubs that are watching this and haven't yet applied to join the Cheshire Football League for next season, applications do close on the 31st of March, same as our transfer deadline day. So you do need to make sure that your applications to join the league are in by the 31st of March. We have had a good handful, maybe a few more than a handful, of interested parties so far, but that's all we can say at this stage. So straight into the Prem, straight into our preview for this week coming. First game up, it's alphabetical order. We've got Altrincham in 5th, taking Malpass on in 10th. Now Altrincham, 4 wins from 6. They lost 4-0 to Lino last week, but that's not a bad result in terms of, finding the feet, first year in the Prem. Liner type, a lot of experience. Against Malpass, they've taken 4 points from the last 12. They had a great point against Withershire Town last week, and they'll hopefully take some confidence from that into the coming weeks. Altrincham won 2-0 back in October. Looking at position, looking at form, your money might be on Altrincham. I can't possibly tell you what might crop up in the dugouts, pie or no pasty. We'll see what happens, and join us on Monday for the review show. So, Congleton in 8th, taking on Style in 15th. They've not played so far this season. Congleton won 5-0 in a district cup last week. They've taken 6 points from the last 12. Style, fantastic point at Knutsford, at home to Knutsford last Saturday, and that gives them 4 points from 6, which in a battle against relegation is definitely looking towards closing that gap on the team in 14th above them, Rudd Heath. Crewe in 9th against Poynton in 6th. Poynton still the side with the games in hand. And that's all I'm going to say. They've just got the games in hand. This game was 6-4 to Poynton back in September. Can we expect a goal fest again on Saturday? Crewe have taken 6 from 12. Poynton got back to winning ways with a hard-fought 1-0 win against Garswood United last week. Let's see what happens there. Talking about Garswood, they're in 16th and they're taking on Denton in 7th. It was 4-0 to Denton back in September, but Garswood, bottom of the table, they've taken 6 from 12. So they've won 2 out of the last 4. They only lost 1-0 to Poynton last week, and that's a great result for them in terms of confidence and, playing against one of the, sides looking to win the championship this year. Denton, 13 points from 15, and they really are climbing the table. They've gone from nowhere into a very strong 7th place already, and could be looking at a late push. Obviously, it depends what happens against the teams above them, but they've got some games coming up where they can pull that lead in. Up into the heady heights of 4th v 2nd, we've got Liner type Gill against Knutsford. Now, previous champions against previous champions. This is one of the 2 games right at the top of the table where you're thinking, tasty, I'm going to go down and watch that one. So, Liner type, 5 straight wins. Can't really say more than that. They've got the Cheshire Cup semi-final coming up in the next few weeks with 5 straight wins under the belt, feeling confident. Knutsford, they've also got 5 straight wins before their 1-1 draw last week against Style. So really is the clash of the Titans, the clash of the unbeaten records. Let's see what happens in this one. That might be the one that I go down and watch if I'm going to go watch a game this Saturday afternoon. So Rudd Heath in 14th against Greenhalls in 12th. Rudd Heath 6 from the last 12. And in the last league game, they actually played Greenhalls. Greenhalls won that one, 2-1, 2 weeks ago. So hopefully Greenhalls will take that into account and prepare in the same way, hoping for the same results. Greenhalls 0-0 against Denton last week. They've taken 4 points from the last available 12. But as I said, looking for the 3 points that they got at Rudd Heath, against Rudd Heath at home a couple of weeks ago. The other big game, it's Whaley Bridge in 1st place, taking on Withershire Town in 3rd. Whaley, 6 from 12 this year. Last time out last week, they got back to winning ways, taking the 3 points from Eagle Sports with a 3-0 win. Withershire with that, almost shock result, but Malpas have been shocking recently in terms of getting surprise results. A 1-1 draw with Wythenshawe, and obviously their 4-3 win over Poynton a couple of weeks ago as well. Wythenshawe, for title contenders, promotion challengers, 4 points from 12 isn't that kind of form, but they're still in third and they've still got a couple of games in hand on the teams above, so watch this space. In a couple of other games we've got this weekend involving Prem sides, Rylands in 11th take on Eagle 13th. It's the Guardian Cup quarter-final, it's a cup match, it can go either way. In terms of recent form, money might be on Eagle, but Rylands will have a lot to say about that. They've been getting some goals this season, so watch this space. Dayton in League One, or from League One, also take on Vulcan in one of the other quarter-finals in that Guardian Cup 2. Into the Hallmark Security Cheshire Football League League One. Billinge in second, take on AFC Mac in fourth. Another big game at this time of the year when games are coming thick and fast before we get into the night games. Billinge in second. They beat Dayton 2-0 last week and they've taken 15 from the last 18 points available to them. That's 5 wins out of 6. The last time these two sides met was just before Christmas, 17th of December, and AFC Mac ran out 2-1 winners down at Stockport Sports Village. In fact, AFC Mac, their last game was a 2-0 win against Halebank, and they've taken 7 from 12 points available in 2017. FC St Helens in 7th, taking on Edgerton in 12th. 0-0 last time out for FC St Helens against West Didsbury and Chorlton, and Edgerton lost narrowly 1-0 to Warrington. They couldn't stop the juggernaut that is the Warrington Reserves team as they ploughed towards that promotion securing place at the top of the table. Goulburn in 9th against Lostock in 6th. It was 4-1 just last week to Lostock. One of the quirks of the fixture computer, this back-to-back game. Goulburn have taken 4 from 12. Lostock have taken 6 from 12. Based on last week's game, you'd think that Lostock would be looking for another 3 points. Who knows? Don't forget to join James for the review show on Monday evening. Grappenhall Sports in 16 taking on Mersey Valley in 5th. It was 3-0 back in August to Mersey Valley. Last time out, Grappenhall lost 4-0 to Middlewich and they've only taken 3 points from the last 18. It's not looking good for Grappenhall Sports. In terms of Mersey Valley, they've taken 6 from 12 and they beat Cheadle Town, the J.A. Walton Cup finalists, 3-1 in their last league game. So looking at it on paper and looking at it on form, it's definitely Mersey Valley's for the taking. But then again, it's football, and we've got Doris causing a riot outside right now. So, Halebank in 13th taking on the title-chasing Warrington Town Reserves. It was 2-0 to Warrington back in September, and Halebank lost 2-0, as I just mentioned, to AFC Macclesfield last week, and they've taken 6 from 15. Contrast that with Warrington's 1-0 win at Edgerton last week, and they've taken 10 from 15. Definitely money on Warrington, but I'm not a gambling man because I'm not allowed because I'm a referee. Into the final game in League One, that's West Didsbury in 8th taking on Cheadle Town in 15th. It was 3-2 to West Didsbury and Chorlton back in August. Having said that, West Didsbury's last 3 games have been draws. Last 3 league games have been draws. Cheadle Town, despite getting to the J.A. Walton Cup final, they haven't won in the league since October. So maybe the best bet is a draw, score draw. Who knows? There we go. Just to round up some of the other games, cup matches, both internal and external, that are happening this weekend also. In the Northern Cup quarter-final, Main Road take on fellow League 2 team Orford for a place in the semi-final, and they'll actually play the winners of Rainford against our own Poynton Reserves. In our internal President's Cup group stage games, Moore United will play Pilkington, Poynton Reserves will play Tarpley Victoria, Eagle Reserves will play Moore United Reserves. Into the Hallmark Security League 2 for Saturday the 25th of February. Just so you can see, I'm wearing this is our actual home strip for the Interleague side, Jimmy Bush's side. As you can see, we're sponsored by SK Kits, and this is the red and blue, red and navy home kit. we played in the semi-final of the Jeff Walton Memorial Cup up at Blackpool on Tuesday evening. No, Doris hadn't arrived, but I think her twin sister was definitely present at the game, blowing a gale and the wind coming horizontally down the pitch. When I say we threw the kitchen sink at it, we literally threw everything at it, even into the dying deaths of injury time in the second half. Best wishes to John Humphreys from Warrington Town, who took a knock to his knee and was ambulanced off to hospital. Best wishes for a speedy recovery from all at the league to John. So into League 2. Barnton Reserves in 12th take on Broadheath, title chasing Broadheath, promotion chasing Broadheath in 3rd. 3-3 back in October. Barnton Reserves actually won 3-2 last time out in the league against Main Road Reserves, but they've only taken 4 from 12 in recent games in the league competition. Broadheath, on the other hand, 7 from 12. They lost 3-2 to Cheadle Town, as I've mentioned, in the J.A. Walton Cup semi-final last week, but they're looking to get their title challenge back on track with points, maybe. Hopefully, never know, against Barnton Reserves. Ford Motors in 5th, taking on Devitt in 2nd. Another one of those big games this weekend in the league. Back in August, Devitt Crystalton won 3-0 against Fords. But check this out. Ford Motors' last league game was 8-1 against Barnton Reserves. They're taken from 13 from 15 points. Maybe the form side in League 2. Compared to Devitt, 9 from 15, and they won 3-2 last time out against Winstanley Warriors. I think it's going to be a high-scoring, tight game. Money's on a draw there. Sandbach in 11th, taking on Winstanley Warriors in 6th. It was 3-0 back in August. And Sandbach, as we've just been talking about, they lost 5-3 to Broadheath last time out. They've taken 2 from 12. Winstanley, 4 from 15. So really, the sides are quite well matched. They won 3-2 on Monday evening against Main Road Reserves. So who knows which way that's going to go, which team's going to turn up, the winning team, the losing team, the drawing team. Join James on Monday for the review show. Into the final game in League 2. Windle in 1st, take on Unicorn in 4th. It was 2-2 back in October. Windle, last time out, won 2-0 against Winstanley Warriors, and they've taken 7 from 12. Unicorn had a thumping 7-0 win against Cuddington last time out in the league, but they've only taken 3 from 12. Those points there against Cuddington are the last points they took in 4 games. You might say it's Windle's to lose, but in terms of their form, 7 from 12, not quite the form, the consistent form they'd be looking for to gain that title or the promotion place. Good luck to both and good luck to all this weekend. Into Reserve 1, we don't have as many games because of the President's Cup and External Cup matches taking place, so we have 3 games in Reserve League 1. Denton in 8th, take on Garswood United in 4th. They played each other last week and Garswood won 4-0. And Denton haven't won since December. They'll be looking to get something to avenge that 4-0 defeat this weekend. Garswood in 4th, 10 points from 12, not lost in 4, playing well. They're pushing up that table and trying to see how far they can get. Can they get into one of the top 2 places? Knutsford A in 5th, taking on Billinge in 11th. It was 2-1 to Knutsford A back in October, but Knutsford drew 0-0 last week against Greenhalls, and they've drawn the last 2 league games. So in terms of their position, they're sort of treading water currently. Billinge 4 from 12, so they've got 2 more points than Knutsford had in the last few games. They won last time out 3-0 against Greenhalls. So in terms of pushing away from the bottom, that's what they're hoping to do. That's where they're sat currently. Style in 9th against Linotype Cheadle Heath Nomads Reserves, who are 2nd. Considering how close they are, they've not played yet this season. It's been postponed a couple of times. Style 3 from 12. They lost 7-1 to Dayton last time out in the league. Linotype, as you might expect from a team in 2nd, 6 from 9. And they won 1-0 against Billinge the last time out. Money's on Linotype, but Style, their form, both teams, their form, so up and down. Don't discount anything. Into Reserve 2, just 2 games there. Malpass taking on AFC Mac, that's 9th against 3rd. They've not played each other yet this season. In fact, it's a double header because next weekend the reverse fixtures back at Macclesfield. Last time out, Malpass lost 2-4 to Moore United Reserves, and they've only taken 1 from the last 15. Macclesfield 7 from 9, but they drew 0-0 with Middlewich last time out. So again, it's just one of those, who's going to turn up, which side's going to turn up and convert chances. The last game in the league this weekend, we sees Wythenshawe Town development squad in 5th, taking on FC St Helens in 1st. Another big game in the Reserve 2 division there. Wythenshawe, last time out in the league, lost 3-2 to FC St Helens. This game is a double header. Wythenshawe have taken 7 from 12. St Helens, last game out, 1-1 against Middlewich. Middlewich seems to be draw specialists against some of our sides here. And they said St Helens have taken 7 from 12. They've only got 2 games left in the league, so they're looking to secure enough points before the season finishes to see if they can push and stay in the top 2 to get promoted for next season. That's our preview show for this week. Don't forget to comment and like. We know we've been running surveys on Twitter to find out what kind of features you want on our YouTube videos. So keep that feedback coming in, and we'll tailor our shows appropriately to give you exactly what you want. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.